This meeting is being recorded.
So while your call is being transferred to the next available representative.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Alicia. How are you doing?
Wait, how are you?
Good, good. Is my writing the right way around for you?
Is your what, please?
The visage writing, is it the right way around for you, or is it backwards?
Yes, it's right.
Okay, awesome.
It's right. Good morning, Dr. J. Andrew, we just spoke. Dr. Pat, she's coming in. Upcoming event? No, she's on. For a few minutes. Good morning, Grace.
Hey, good morning, Alicia.
How are you?
Very good.
Yellow.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. I really like your presentation, so that's why I wanted you here. So thank you so much for being here.
Oh, no problem. Okay, good.
We haven't started yet. We still have time.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's why I want to come here like a little bit earlier to see your event. It's my first time to join your event. I'm excited.
Good. I'm glad you're excited. I'm glad to have you here. This is probably my second. I shut down in March because I had problems with Eventbrite and Zoom cooperating. So I went to Dr. Patricia, who's the lady in red on the platform there, for help. And so she gave me some training. So I started back in April. Now it's May. So this is the second one.
Oh, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, great opportunity for all of us. How many speakers do you have today?
I'm hoping 4. We have 1, 2, 3 on the platform right now. And the nice thing about being an attendee, you also get to speak for about a couple of minutes, 3, no more than 5 minutes, sharing about who you are and what you do. So everybody will get a chance to speak.
Okay. So I introduce myself, or you're going to introduce me before I speak?
I introduce you before you speak, but as an introduction, we all say who we are, and then we'll go into the speaking engagements
Okay.
afterward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It's a little bit different than most, but I would say I took this from Dr. Patricia Rogers. You know, she's been a mentor to me. So
Oh yes, yes, I know her.
okay,
Yeah, I've been to her events as well.
okay, good.
Hmm.
I've spoken at her events.
Good.
With a
We're
fellow
no
colleague.
strangers.
Yeah, good, good. That's nice to know. It's 11:30. I did want to give some gifts in the chapter. Wait. Mindy's here. Okay. Good morning, Mindy.
Hi.
Good morning, Mindy.
Hi, everyone.
We haven't started yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Dr. Rogers. She's here?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Nice.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. J.
How you doing?
Is it JR or is it just Dr. J?
It's JR. Nice to meet you.
JR.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the meeting code? Because I'm trying to log in on my desktop.
Okay. Hold on.
Because it's sent it to my phone, but I want to get on my desktop.
Yes, I know. Here, let me just put the link.
It said it was saved, but it's not.
All right. Can I email it to you? What's your email?
JEWRAL.
Okay, no, I'm not ready for it yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. JEW
RAL
RAL
_. McIntyre MCINTY
MCI.
NTYRE at yahoo.com.
Okay, so I have JEWRAL _ MCINTYRE
Yes,
at
ma'am.
Yahoo. Okay.
.com.
Great.
I'll be waiting for it.
Okay, I'm gonna send it in 2 seconds.
And I sent you my PowerPoint too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. It's in. I put it in the LinkedIn because I didn't have your email.
Okay.
Okay, I just got it.
Okay, good. Did anybody else have a PowerPoint that you want me to play for when you're speaking? I have to go back to my LinkedIn.
I have a PowerPoint, but I'll drive it.
Okay. I set up a invitation on LinkedIn, and I have quite a few acceptance, but I don't think they're registered. Because the amount does not match. Okay, let me come back over. Okay. Oh, you sent it this morning at 11 o'clock? Dr. JR? Are you there? Oh, he's switching. Okay. Oh, he's not. Okay, he's not. Dr. JR?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you sent the PowerPoint this morning at 11 o'clock. Is that the one that I'm supposed to download for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No? Sorry for the delay, guys. Just making sure everything's okay on this end. I don't see anything I'm supposed to be. Well, let's begin. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. My name is Alicia Alexander, and my company is Make a Difference Consulting. Usually I have Make a Difference Consulting above me, but I changed backgrounds to feature my platform, which is the 5 pillars of organizational excellence. Oh, thank you for coming on camera, Dr. Patricia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So I will share with you guys that I'm a believer in Jesus. And so I would like to start with prayer. I hope no one objects, but I am not forcing my faith on anybody else, but I think that giving him honor will help this meeting to go much more smoothly than not giving him honor. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to share on business. You are the one who has created us to be productive and be instrumental in changing things in this earth. So we ask you for the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, power to bring forth good business in this world. We thank you and we praise you for this meeting. Let all things go smoothly in the name of Jesus. Amen. Okay. So I'm going to take this time to welcome everyone and to ask you to introduce yourselves. I'm going to call on them and call on you in an order that is on my screen. So Grace, would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Alicia, for inviting me. I'm Grace. I've been a serial entrepreneur with 27 years of experience. For years, I chased the success, but inside of me, I built a successful business, but I felt like a prisoner, chained to the same place, working 10 plus hours every single day, totally disconnected from joy. Then 2020, everything changed. I found this online world, learned how to package my expertise into premium offers. Now I help high achieving women monetize their knowledge online. Through my signature coaching framework, I help women to consistently make 10K month in just 6 weeks by teach them mastering their money mindset, leveraging their messaging and confidently selling without tech savvy or have to be the best expert in the world. So I'm so glad I'll be sharing some insight today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Dr. J, would you like to go next?
Yes, how you guys doing? I'm Dr. J.R. McIntyre. I'm a retired military veteran, motivational speaker, life coach. Went through a lot of similar things that we're going to speak about today about the downfalls of business. A lot of people glorify 6 figures and the house and the cars, but I talk about the dark days, about how do you pivot from making mistakes in business and understanding the analytics of business. I failed in business. That's why I went back and got my master's. And then I started taking my doctorate in business so I could go in each one and teach one. I'm not saying everybody needs an education in business, but I think somebody that looks like us needs to understand how to go back and give that into where we come from. I come from Long Beach, Compton, LA, pretty bad area situation. Mother died of AIDS. My mom was on drugs, gang bang, and all that stuff, and we wasn't taught how to do business and understand business. We taught hustling, but we don't know business. Then as I transitioned to the military, I started to understand. But this is who I am. I travel the world. I speak to veterans, disabled veterans, collegiate kids, women, men, everybody, just to put out the good word and have a book coming out in July called The Dark Days of Entrepreneurship as a Combat Veteran. Just talks about the mental health of running a business, just like Mrs. Grace talked about. So
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. J.R. I have to make sure I include that R in there.
yeah.
Dr. Patricia, would you like to go next, please?
Hi, everyone. How y'all doing today? Beautiful day. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity and Service, where people need people. And what Unity and Service does is we provide a speaking platform so that entrepreneurs can speak about their products and services and how they enhance the lives of other people. They get a chance to get new leads. Why? Because people need people, as well as increase their network so that they can get new clients and make more money. And I've been doing this for 11 years. Years initially, 6, 7 years on. I did it in person, and of course the pandemic came and it shifted me to online. So I pivoted on a dime, and I continued to host my events. I learned how to host events virtually, and I have been doing it ever since. I am a woman of God. I love the Lord. He's in all of our events, and we have been having monthly events. Again, people want to be seen, they want to be heard, and I am a visibility strategist. And what I do too is I show people how to make an impact when they show up on social media, because that's what people are looking for: professionalism, content, all that good stuff. So I think I've met Mr. Andrew. How are you? Grace, I know Grace. I've networked with you before, Grace, several times. And Mindy, how are you? And Alicia, thank you for having me today. Thank you for carrying out this event. So I was looking forward to coming.
Thank you, Dr. Patricia.
My information will be in the chat.
Okay, cool. Yes, Dr. Patricia is a mentor of mine. We know each other through Women's Prosperity Network, which is a great platform as well. Andrew, would you like to go next?
Hello, people. I'm in Atlanta. I am in the CEO coaching and advisory space. I bring CEOs together. I'm a lover of people and life and paying it forward and helping people find what they were crafted to be, not what society or their family and those people around them taught them to be. So trying to help people find their inner light and how they pop out. Wonderful to be here.
Awesome. And I like your, a company that you're working with is Vistage. It's a great opportunity. So thank you for being here. And Mindy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Alicia. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here. Thank you. Yes, sure. So I am Mindy. I am an award-winning TV producer for many, many years. I'm also an actor, and now I am focusing my efforts in creating programs for women over 50 who may want to boost their confidence, or maybe they're no longer in corporate like I am. Maybe they've been taking care of a loved one for a long time, and maybe they just want to do something for fun or just a little bit more time to themselves. And I do that by teaching acting techniques because I am also an actor. I've been in short movies. I just shot a movie this weekend, a scene for a movie that I can't wait for it to come out. And just excited to be here amongst all of you great professionals. So thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome. I would say the trailer for her new movie is so hot. Everyone must watch it. It's the movie when it comes out is going to be great. I know it is.
Thank you,
Um,
Alicia.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm putting a gift into the chat. It's an ebook called Leaders. Lead well, look well, love well. To encourage us as leaders to do just that. Lead well, look well, and love well. So it's a gift that I'm giving to everyone. You can download it, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay. Okay, yes, I invite you all to put your information in the chat so that you can keep up with one another after the meeting and enjoy each other's work that we do on social media, if you're on social media. And I would like to begin the meeting, the speaking opportunities. I'm going to start with Grace. Grace, you did send me your intro, so let me go to it. Okay. Grace is a four-time Amazon best-selling author, seven figures business owner, and a determined business coach, compassionate about empowering female entrepreneurs and new coaches. Grace, you didn't have a PowerPoint, right?
No, I don't have.
Okay. You go right ahead, please.
Okay, so you are not here by accident. You are here because deep down you know you are meant for more. And today we are going to unlock that version of you, the one who's been waiting to rise. Because if you are in this room, something inside you is already whispering, it's time. Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here with such an inspiring group of leaders. Huge thanks to Alicia and the Make a Difference consulting team for this opportunity to speak on leadership, excellence, and impact. I'm Grace Wong, a serial entrepreneur with 27 years of experience. Now I help high-achieving women turn their expertise into premium offers and profitable online businesses without burnout, tech overwhelm, or compromising their values. I once built a successful business and still felt trapped, exhausted, and disconnected from joy. Everything shifted in 2020 when I discovered the online space and learned that freedom doesn't come from working harder. It comes from alignment, clarity, and purpose-driven strategy. Now, I guide women to create time and location freedom, consistently making 10K a month, and the confidence to lead boldly just by monetizing what they already know. So today I will be sharing a few key insights on building high-performance leaders, the art of turning expert into impact and income. And I hope it reminds you the next level isn't out there, it's already in you. Let's activate it. So before we dive in, I want to share a little story about me. When I first started building my online coaching business 4 years ago, I didn't have a fancy website, no big audience, no perfect plan. What I did have was this: clarity about who I could help, confidence in the value of what I knew, and the courage to take imperfect action, even when it felt uncomfortable. That's when I learned a powerful truth. Leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about standing grounded in your values, especially when no one is clapping yet. And this truth doesn't just apply to coaches. It's the same in the corporate world. It's the same for business owners. It's the same for every woman who wants to rise. The most impactful leaders aren't always the ones with the title or the loudest options. They are the ones who lead themselves first. They turn knowledge into action, wisdom into solutions, presence into inspiration. That's what I teach my clients to do, whether they are building a business or having leadership in their career. To stop waiting for permission, to stop doubting their voice, and to start leading with clarity, confidence, and courage. Because your next level doesn't come from doing more. It comes from becoming more of who you already are. Now, I want to share a few powerful insights that have not only transformed my own leadership, but have also helped many high-achieving women step into their next level with clarity, confidence, and a sense of purpose. Let's start with the first one. Clarity is your first power. Clarity is the ability to define exactly who you are, what you offer, and where you are going. It's not about having all the answers. It's about making intentional decisions based on your value, vision, and purpose. Clarity cuts through confusion. It aligns your actions with your goals. It sharpens your communication, and it helps you make decisions with confidence, not fear or urgency. Without clarity, it's easy to stay busy but not have an impact. You will find yourself reacting instead of leading, because high-performance leadership doesn't start with doing more. It starts with thinking clearly. If your vision is blurry, your results will be scattered. But when you are clear on who you are and what you are here to do, everything aligns: your energy, your message, and your impact. Ask yourself, am I leading with clarity or hiding behind activity? Because staying busy is not the same as being effective. Once you have clarity about who you are and where you want to go, the next step is building the inner strength to show up and own it. And that's where confidence comes in. Confidence isn't something you are born with. It's something you build. It's not a feeling. It's a byproduct of action. True confidence comes from consistently showing up, speaking up, and stepping forward even when you don't feel fully ready. Confidence expands your capacity to lead, influence, and serve. It silences imposter syndrome and allows you to position your expertise with authority. Every time you teach, coach, post, pitch, or serve, your confidence compounds. Because leadership isn't about never feeling fear or doubt. It's about acting with intention while those voices are still there. Confidence turns knowledge into impact. It's what allows you to stand in a room, own your story, and offer value with certainty, even before you see the results. Ask yourself, am I waiting to feel confident, or am I building it by showing up anyway? The third point I want to share is courage, because clarity give you direction. Confidence helps you show up, but it's courage that creates real momentum. You don't wait to feel confidence before you act. You act with courage, and that's how confidence is built. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite fear. It's saying yes when you are only 70% ready. It's raising your hand when no one else will. It's choosing to be visible even when your voice shakes. Courage activates momentum. It opens doors that would otherwise stay closed. It transforms knowledge into action and action into impact. With courage, your message gets heard, your ideas take shape, and your leadership becomes felt. Because the leaders who rise are always the most experienced. They are the ones who go first. Without courage, your expertise stays hidden. With courage, your expertise changes lives, including your own. So ask yourself, what I'm delaying because I'm waiting for the perfect moment, instead of trusting myself to take the next step. So today, I leave you with this: clarity, confidence, courage. These aren't just the words. They are the anchors that turn your expertise into leadership and your knowledge into income and impact. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this: your next level of leadership isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more visible, more valuable, and more bold with the brilliance you already have inside you. If something resonated, if a spark were lit, I'd love to keep the conversation going. You weren't just born to lead. You were born to make a difference. And the world is waiting for you to rise into that next version of yourself, fully and unapologetically. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you.
Muted, you're muted.
Thank you. I thought it was still open. I was saying courage and leadership, clarity, confidence, and courage. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Grace. We have a new guest. Her name is Darla. Grace, Libby. I wanted to say the full name, but she's known me since I had my first child, and my first child is 38. So she's been a wonderful leader in my life. Grace, you want
Thank you.
to
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
I just came in at the last few minutes of Miss Wang's presentation. I can see how impacting it is. I'm looking because I got to get back to work, but I wanted to at least show up.
Thank you, Darla. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We're moving on to Andrew Boomer and Vistage.
Hey people, let me quickly get into slideshow.
Oh,
I'm going to share
sorry.
screen now.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
All right, can we see the screen?
Yes.
Let me just find your faces, because I want to tap you all away nicely. All right, find your faces. All right, people. So a little bit about me and my journey in life and where I'm at, and why Vistage is such a great place and such a good place for CEOs, owners, and business owners to be. So I had the fortune of learning at a very young age what rejection is about and what uncaring people are about. So this was in the 1970s, and I grew up in a world that I was isolated. So I had to learn to own my own tomorrow. So everything I do. So Grace, just in line with your beautiful words, I was faced with deep challenges, exclusionary, and I learned that small words can matter. How people engage and treat you can matter, and how you need to take ownership of tomorrow. No one is going to fix tomorrow for you. So I did that. So I got involved through my journey in life, a lot of volunteer stuff. I've had the privilege of being involved in off-road rescue, ballroom dancing, saving the world, youth group, missionary camps, climbing, off-roading. I did military service in South Africa. I had the privilege of doing stunt work in that, meeting Robert Downey Jr. and a few other actors. And then I had my own burning bush moment in the middle of the Drakensberg. I literally had my own burning bush right in front of me, burning bush, and I was on fire as well. So I had my own moments. But, you know, life is full of surprises, and none of these experiences would have come if I'd sat there and felt sorry for myself and figured out, what do I do with myself? How do things go? So I come to the US, and I taught myself a bunch of things. So we figured out how to breed sea life. So figured out how to breed sea life, how to sell it. Started up selling saltwater tanks, saltwater microorganisms, and also taught myself how to do woodworking. So I took ownership of things. So me as a human being, I stepped in and figured out how do you make things beautiful? How do you drive or own tomorrow? My latest hobby is one that I'm doing. I don't know if you can hear the audio, but this is my house over Christmas, and I have the joy of celebrating and having people dancing in the streets with us and enjoying the light and singing along with us. Just get to meet people. I've been doing this for 10 years now, 9 years. I have traditions built around the house, and just it's all about, and the whole point of this is paying it forward, just giving us insight into kind of the purpose of life. As things move forward, we'll have choices in what we do with ourselves, how we present ourselves, where we go. On a careers perspective, I also took ownership of this. So I took ownership of my personal life, everything that I was surrounded, and I have done a lot. I've done business operations, sales and growth, product technology. I've done a lot inside of companies. And to be honest, a lot of it was meandering, and a lot of it was just going from one thing, figuring out why somebody wanted something, to figuring out how it was done. Then the why that was important, and then how it was done. So it taught me an awful lot. And it put me into a position of really being a really good general business operations specialist, understanding how companies come together, how they operate, what works, what doesn't work, where the infighting and the internal politics, internal dynamics come from, why requirements, documentation. I've really had the privilege of experience the full breadth of an organization. I've had the privilege of living in South Africa, the UK, USA. I have toured and worked in all of the states in the US, excepting the 3 X's. And don't ask me why I've not made Alaska and Hawaii. I will get there. But I had the privilege of being to almost every major city. I've dealt with almost all of the creeds and cultures and subcultures in the US, in Canada, Central America, in Europe. I had the privilege of meeting a lot of people, and it's helped open my eyes and my bigger picture of what it's about. That's all resulted in the creation of the Arjunan Village. So the Arjunan Village is meant to be a refuge, a watchtower, safety, self-sustaining, grounded in earth and reality, human beings positioned to see far, understand beauty, and to be vigilant. It's where we gather to appreciate the sunrises, sunsets, changing seasons, mountains, views. So take those words and put them in the context of each of us have our own journey of where we're at. Each of us have our own companies of how we've got to where we're at. So being able to create an environment where people come together to help and serve one another. 19 months ago, I had a Dear Johnny message that got given to me where I had to figure out and say, what do I do with myself now moving forward? 53-year-old male, no college or university degree, hard work to got to where I'm just through pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, not taking no, and every door that opened, I opened that door. But in March of last year, I faced what I thought was just absolute certain challenges. And I met a few people, and each one of the little mannequins there, male and female, are individuals that I met that fundamentally changed my life. I've met more people in the last 19 months that have affected my life and my career more than probably I have met in the past 20, 30 years of my life. And I have grown a lot. I've become an author. I've written 2 books. I've had the privilege of doing an awful lot in how I pull things together. And what I decided is it took me a while to figure out how, Grace, to your words earlier about what am I, who am I, how do I go to market, what are the things that I do. So I've honed it down into 3 core buckets now. So I do writing and authoring. I have the Arduino Village that I'm putting together, and I have joined Vistage and executive peer groups. And everything I've had the privilege of experiencing through life has got me ready to be a Vistage chair and a Vistage lead. The 2 books I've written, so the one on the left-hand side, You Decide, is about when you get to a point, when you get to a point that you realize your network is not what's going to change your future, is how do you start expanding your network? How do you start building friends? Not selling yourself, but building friends, expanding your network, meeting people, understanding people, sharing, introducing people, passing it forward. Notice I said passing it forward, not just paying it forward, but passing it forward. So taking knowledge and giving that knowledge away, giving the insights away. Alicia, just like your book that you just kindly donated and gifted to us. So how do you pay it forward and pass it forward? How do you do that? So the book is about how you leverage technologies to develop your network and how you pull people that are far away from you into being with you. The 13 people that have changed my life in the last 9 months were in the 4th and 5th degree. If you're familiar with LinkedIn terminology, they were away from me. They were people that I had no ability to get in touch with. I built a method and an approach towards getting there and rolled it out, and it's working beautifully, and it's inside the book, You Decide. Leading magnanimously is about how do you as a leader, how do you step aside in modern day where ageism is a thing, where you have in a room, you could have a 20-year-old, you can have a 55-year-old, and how do you manage those teams? How do you manage the dynamics of that? How do you pull it all together? And I didn't want to write another book on a bunch of theory. What I did is I wrote a book on the experiential acts of life, and the same is true with You Decide. I wrote them with intent to be things that are not a bunch of theory, but stuff you can action against. You can open the book and you can redline it, circle it, and have an action against it to be able to say, these are things I need to do. So again, just figuring out how do I pass and pay it forward. I've given more copies of You Decide away than have been bought. I think I've given away 250 copies of that book already, and I think I've got sold maybe 80 of them, if I'm lucky, maybe 50. But it's about passing it forward. And I encourage people, if you're 40 years plus, you need to start doing everything in You Decide and start building a network, so you do not land in a situation that you don't know what's going on. The village really is about volunteering, paying it forward, passing it forward, a go-to place for insights and hope. So I'm curating information. So if you're in a CTO world, a COO world, if you are a founder and owner, if you're trying to figure out how you move yourself forward tomorrow, I'm trying to create it as a place of curated, very clean information and partners that will work with you to get things moving forward. Together we win. The world's a very complex place right now, and I think it's really important to surround yourself with people that can help you win. I've had the privilege of doing a lot of volunteer and pro bono mentoring and coaching, and those are the flags on the right-hand side of the countries that I've had the privilege in doing a lot of pro bono one-on-one mentoring, coaching startups, founders. Just had the privilege of meeting some amazing people, and I cannot profess to changing their lives. What I can profess to is I'm really good at helping them figure out what are they, what are they really, not what somebody thought them to be. The piece that has everything of, and the culmination of everything I am, is Vistage. Vistage is a peer group of CEOs and business owners. So what that means is I've given some examples of the verticals that we would pull together into one group, where you'd have CEOs from these individual verticals that are part of their own private advisory board, where they help one another through trying times and challenges. Discussions that I had here are things that you would not speak with your board about. You would not speak with your executive team about. And you definitely would not speak with the team members in your company about. So pulling people like-minded who also have to wake up tomorrow morning and figure out, how do they pay salaries? How do they deal with press? How do they deal with technology evolution? How do they deal with tariffs? How do they deal with the board? How do they manage and move things forward? So pulling together CEOs and owners, and I have the privilege of filling this function as what's called a Vistage chair. So I don't do any advisory consulting inside of these groups. I'm a facilitator. My job is to bring the CEOs together and hold them accountable towards active engagement and drawing discussions and that out. Typical member Vistage member characteristics is being deliberate, change-oriented, engaged, they're present, they're engaging, they're graceful, caring, challenge-oriented, trust-based, and growth-focused. So these are the kind of characteristics we look for in the CEOs and business owners. If these characteristics are not present, then we prefer, we don't invite that CEO. It's very much a mutually selected environment. So we get to select the CEOs that join. The CEO gets to select which group they join and whether they want to join. But we don't just go out there and draw CEOs and just try to shove them into a hole. We actually go through a very carefully curated onboarding adoption journey to make sure that they're actually going to receive and give value. There are Vistage is a 65-year-old company, 47,000 CEOs that are part of it. We have monthly in-person group sessions. So the group of CEOs, 12, 15 CEOs, get together face-to-face once a month at an agreed location, which is typically one of the CEO's companies. And there are also monthly one-on-one sessions between the facilitator, the chair, namely myself, and each of the CEOs. And the goal of that is to help them progress themselves forward. Topics we cover are focused around their customers, their growth, how they go to market, their talent, the financials, operations. We cover decisions, judgments, perspectives. Nothing better. We are all as perfect as we can individually be. And we have all grown up in the way we have grown up. And we see things through the lens that we have experienced, worked ourselves, grown up into, and worked ourselves into. What a group of peer CEOs do is they help you get out of your head and see the problem from another perspective, with people that have no agenda, have no politics, they have nothing to gain, they have nothing to lose. They're just there as a peer group helping you look at the thing you're trying to address and find a different way of doing it. Wealth of information, as you can imagine, 47,000 CEOs. There's a wealth of information that gets passed on. This is an example of the Vistage Confidence Index of the CEO. So it's a CEO Confidence Index that gives you, it's just a taste of the kind of things that it passes around. There are internal groups inside of it. It's amazing when you see the CEOs talking to say, my CTO or CIO has found this new tool. What does everybody think about it? We're using this vendor or looking to use a vendor, which vendors, and these are CEOs engaging with one another. So these are decision makers and people that are affecting thousands and thousands of lives that are collaborating with one another to help towards a new tomorrow. My why? Because I believe that together we win. I have a foundational belief that we need to plant the seed that will grow into trees that we will never sit under. And that's about passing it forward and paying it forward, where you're affecting lives that you will never celebrate in the success. So whether it's one-on-one, whether it's one in 100 people together, whether it's 5, whether it's in sports, whether it's in celebrating births of children, whether it's in changing careers, together we win, right? Individually, we sit in our own, we look in the mirror and we end up in a wallow. So together we win. And the drive forward is always to look for how do we plant seeds? How do we plant seeds and help people that generations away from us, those effects are experienced. So in line with what Grace said, the limit is you. Find your you, figure out where you're at. I have the privilege of working in a space that I love. I'm great at what I do. I'm really good at engaging and drawing people in. I have a history of life behind me. I've had the privilege. My mom always said to me, Andrew, nobody's ever going to feel sorry for you. You have your face, you have what you have. Go and make the best of your life or be the victim of everybody else's life. And it was my decision. So get out there and do it. So your only limit is you. And that's my story. I love people. I love working with business owners. I love paying it forward. Thank you for the time and the message.
Awesome.
Thank you, Andrew. That was wonderful. Together
Awesome.
we win. Sorry, Dr. Pratt, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was agreeing with him, and I know I was not on mute. I apologize.
That's okay. It was supportive, so thank you. Yes, together we win. And Dr. J.R., would you like to do us the honor?
You doing? How's everybody doing? I gave my bio earlier today. Just, want to get into PowerPoint real quick, just to talk about the failures in business and how we pivot.
Can you share your PowerPoint from where you are?
Yes, let me open it. Let me see.
Okay. I do have it.
You see it?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning again. I'm J.R. McIntyre, retired military veteran. I'm speaking on why businesses fails and lessons from the fall. I'm JR. They call me AKA the Hood Motivator. I am from the Hood, but I went into the military after getting out of jail and had 14 years in the military, 3 combat tours to Iraq, Afghanistan, got a Bronze Star in combat, lost a lot of good buddies, suffered with PTSD, TBI, got injuries in my head and my hand got popped in my hand and my back, but I'm good. I'm still here. God is good. I got out and they told me, the American dream was to start a business. And before that, they should have told me to take care of my mental. And I didn't. I jumped right into starting a business before trying to better myself, right? A lot of us are in these spaces and we're masters of our courses, but we're not masters of our own life, right? We want to sell, we want to make money, and we want to put our story out. But I think that we injure more people if we don't help ourselves first. So that's my little learn to pivot and rise. Next slide. Let's see. These are my 10 rules of engagement to acquire motivation. You can scan it. You'll see my social media. You see my LinkedIn. You see my YouTube. You'll see my Instagram. First is establish connection is trust. This is how we acquire that motivation. 2, ask powerful questions. 3, identify their pain points and struggles. Find their why. 5, reframe limiting beliefs. 6, paint a vision of possibility. 7, break it down into small wins. 8, shift focus into action, not just feeling. 9, hold them accountable and reinforce our growth mindset. So that's what I give out to everybody I come in encounter with. I have a misspelled word on there, but this is what I give out to everybody right here to let them know these are the 10 rules of engagement, or ROE. When I was going into combat, what is your rules of engagement? What are you supposed to look for? Who are we fighting against? These are the instructions that we have before we enter the battlefield. So I think that's just like business. This is who I am. You can read my bio. I'm a United States Army veteran from Long Beach, 14 years, 3 combat tours. After jail, I went into the Army, became an entrepreneur, lost my comfort during COVID, went through a bunch of hard times, and now I'm here. This is who I am. My speaking topics, this is what I speak about. Resiliency, entrepreneurship, mental health, the power of purpose, motivation, veteran military transition. This is my credentials right here. I'm ranked as a number 44 top speaker on LinkedIn, and I have a TED Talk coming up, and I have speaking engagements every other weekend all over the United States. This is how you can contact me if you want to book me. My manager's at the bottom, the number's at the bottom. All right, next slide. Introduction. Over 20% of small businesses fail within the first year. Year 5, nearly 50% shut down. And today we uncover why, so you don't have to repeat that cycle, right? And you don't have to lose when you fail. You lose when you quit learning. And I want to tell everybody that. Like we don't fail when something doesn't go our way. We fail when we stop to evolve and understand and learn. Next slide. Let me see. Next slide is, I have this. Let the dream destroy you. That's one of my speeches that's on YouTube and on LinkedIn. It'll tell you about attacking that dream. And if it's not making you sleepless nights and it's not confusing you, then you're not doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? That dream has to destroy you. And this is why I do. The 10 reasons why business fail right here. We're going to the lack of market demand. Do we agree? Sometimes we think we know that that's our gift, but sometimes that market is not demanding it. And if you are the same, to say it's a bunch of motivational speakers, life coaches, everybody doing the same thing, what makes you different? How do you stand out, right? Cash flow problems. A lot of us like to bootstrap. I did a lot of bootstrapping. I didn't get no loans until like COVID, you know what I'm saying? So we draw from sometimes an empty pot because we believe and we invest. 3, we have poor leadership and management, so a lot of us, we have, the right strategy, but we have poor leadership and management. We one person. And when I started my business, I wore a bunch of hats. I wore all of them, and I didn't want to delegate. In the moment I did delegate, I delegated to the wrong leadership and management, and they didn't love it like I did, right? Your business is your baby. When you fail or something happens, you're excited. You birthed that baby. You bring it into the world, and everybody, you're excited about it. And sometimes the employees that you hire and the people that think you're online with them, they just there for the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be paid, and that's understandable. Have a business plan. I tell everybody, you don't have to have it written down, but make sure you have that strategy in your head of how. In my master's class and doctoral, they want you to have a business plan, but I started a lot of things without having a business proposal. Number 5, marketing failures. Make sure, as social media grows and as older we get, we want to stay in tune with the times. What I do now is I have a 25-year-old daughter and an 18-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. They manage my social media. So I do the content and I send it to my kids and they put the music behind it and the reels and stuff goes viral. So I utilize my kids because they are the future. They are the ear to the streets. You know what I'm saying? They do look to me for my expertise, but they have that viral moment that Dad, this sounds good and I gotta listen. I'm a young parent. So hiring the wrong team. Make sure you hire the right team. 6, ignoring customers. Do not never ignore the people that you're trying to give your business to. Sometimes we be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Sometimes we do. A lot of people on the street. My mom was homeless and slept in. She was on Skid Row, but she wasn't dumb at all. So just because you think people are homeless or don't have things going on, they know a lot of things that can happen in your business, and they can, you know what I'm saying, they can help you out. Number 8, pricing issues. Make sure that, when I started speaking and motivational speaking after running my company, I was scared to even quote my prices because I didn't think that I was worth or deserving. Add your value. Understand who your value is. Once I pivoted to running my company to motivational speaking and traveling and life coach, I got certified. I got a certification in life coach, a certification in motivational speaking. I got my master's in business. Add your value so when you sell your product, they have no choice but to pay you. It's not like because I look the best on the screen or I run the fastest or I talk the best or I know the right people. Some people know the right people and they get to the front of the line, but when they on that stage, they ain't you. So 9, burnout and fatigue. We used to have this thing in the military. On Thursdays, we have sergeant time training. And that means that after 9 o'clock, everybody go disappear. Go get you some rest. We've been working hard from Monday to Wednesday to Thursday. Go get you some rest. Friday, we'll reconvene and then we'll talk about it later. So make sure you understand your burnout and don't let nobody burn you out. Number 10, external forces. So what happened when COVID? A lot of people went through a lot of stuff. So prepare for things like that. America wasn't ready for that, and we lost and we won. But at the end of the day, we learned a lot from what happened during COVID. Can we agree? My next slide is case studies. Fallout of blockbuster companies. Ignoring the industry. Failure to innovate digitally. You know what I'm saying? Overconfident leadership and lessons. Stay humble and stay ahead. Make sure you understand all these things that work together for your own good. The financial failures, running out of capital, not paying yourself. One of my mistakes when I started my company, when I got out, I read a book and, I was listening to how you invest into your own company. I wasn't taking a paycheck for 4 years. So when I failed and went bankrupt, I didn't have no money. I put a lot of money into my company. I didn't have no money. So that's one of the things that now I know once I'm speaking now, I pay myself first because you got to eat, regardless of people thinking or counting your pockets or you're retired military. Pay yourself, take care of yourself first, because when the door is shut down, all you have is you. And that's what I put. I paid everyone but myself for a month, and that was a toll on me. It hurt it because when I lost my company, I didn't lose my brick and mortar, and I lost all that. I wasn't getting paid, so I did it for nothing. I did that out of love. That's why I got a book coming out. It's called A Good Heart Don't Pay Bills. You could try to help people, put people in position, but when you lose by yourself. Your name is on that roster. Your name is on that deed. Your name is on that company. People gonna come looking for you. Where my money at? So hiring family and friends. It's pros and cons of that. Sometimes you want to help your friends out and your family, but do they fit the bar? Are there the right people? Did you vet them? Just because they talk a good game, did you vet them? And that's what happened in my business. I had a bunch of good friends I worked with and family and trying to put everybody in position to win, just like MC Hammer. And he had over $300 million with 30 dancers and all these things. And when he lost, nobody else, that was it. All his money ran through. So you can't help everybody. You got to help yourself first. So bad systems and lack of structure, no standard operating procedures, no clear responsibilities, chaos, and a business without structure is a hobby with bills. Remember that. A business without structure is a hobby with bills. So we can say we do this, that, and third, but it's just a hobby if it has no structure. Um, Mental and emotional burnout. Make sure that we deal with all this. A lot of entrepreneurs, we often suffer in silence because we embarrassed. We don't want to tell nobody what's going on, and we think that it'll phase out. Like, talk about it. That's why I'm a life coach to a lot of business owners now, because I want tell me, let me help you. Let me, because I'm not saying, because I've been through it before and it hurts and it sucks, but this is how we do it. Mental health is your business secret weapon, so make sure you take care of your business. Make sure you take care of your mental health first. And success ain't worth it if your soul is bankrupt. And that's me. That's my quote with my bankruptcy. I learned a lot from going bankrupt. Ignoring the market. Evolve with the trends, which is I don't know if you guys are on LinkedIn a lot, but now I post so many videos of me speaking. Everybody say, "Oh, I'm talking about speaking because that's my new business. I'm a speaker, but if I don't know you know how to speak, I'm just guessing, right?" So I post my videos on LinkedIn. I show you where my YouTube is at. Go check. If you like me, you like me, and don't let nobody tell you that there's not a market for you, because I changed the whole diagram of how the market of speakers look. I have my own way. They call me the hood motivator. I show up with my hat on all this, but I have the same credentials as the next guy over there. But at the end of the day, my rhetoric is my rhetoric, and I did this for a reason, because I believe little kids and little boys and girls need to understand that it doesn't just look one way. It looks in multiple different ways, and you could be him, you could be her, as long as you get there. You know what I'm saying? I see you at the finish line. So listen to your target audience. Listen to your people that's buying your product. Listen to the people you emulating. Right? My dad's a bishop. My grandfathers are ministers. Rest in peace. But at the end of the day, I listen to a lot of speakers and I emulate and I try to figure out what's the best, what's going on, and how to understand and stay tuned. Don't be so stubborn that you know everything, that you're letting the TikTok trends pass you by and all these things, right? Because that's little money that you can make. The cost of ego, thinking you got it all figured out. That hurted me. I thought I had to figure out the best security company in town until I went bankrupt and refusing to pivot. I pivoted late, and now look where I'm at. But at the end of the day, I think God had a plan for me, and that's why I'm here. God said, JR, you went the wrong way, but you went a long way. Well, come on back, man. Let's do it again, but do it this way. And I did it. And ask for help. That's why we all on here. We all experts. If you need help, tap in with me on my LinkedIn. Let me help you. Let me life coach you. Let me motivate you. I go to conferences. I go to summits. I go to podcasts. Whatever you need. I just tell the real, because I want people to understand this is what it looks like, not what I heard, what I've been through. So The COVID-19, we talk about that, what happened. We didn't unexpected shutdown. So things like that is going to keep happening. We just got to make sure we understand and adapt, you know what I'm saying, and make sure that, we can do things virtually and stuff like that. So that's what people are doing now. That's what we are doing now. But make sure that you evolve and use AI. AI is your friend. You talk to it, it knows who you are. Use it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be against it. Don't tell it everything. Because if you saw iRobot, you'll see. But turning failure into fuel. Failure refines your process. Every loss has a lesson. And another quote: "My failures were the tuition I paid for my real education." So I use that. Turn your story into your story. Your testimony is your testimony, and if you believe in who you are, you will share that with the world and not be afraid of it. I share all my mistakes and let people know this is what it looks like. This is JR. I wasn't always this person, but now I am this person. So um, what's one business failure you faced? We could talk amongst each other afterwards. It's a Q&A. What is the one business failure that you face? Could somebody chime in and tell me real quick? You got 1 minute to tell me something failure in business that you faced, and maybe what's your biggest takeaway from today that you heard from my speech. So I take one or two, just 1 minute, because I don't want to take the time, and then I answer and then go on with my last slide. So can somebody tell me what's your biggest takeaway from my presentation today? Anybody?
Yeah, I want to say that you made some great points as to what it takes to succeed. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs miss that message. A lot of the things you said, I didn't mark down everything, but I tell you one thing you said definitely people need to get it, and that is ignoring customers, ignoring conversation. If I send you a message, I'm talking to you. You're important to me. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs miss that. They'll tell me, "Oh, well, I saw it, but I didn't know I needed to respond." Well, communication is a two-way street. Last I heard, when you reached out to me, you wanted me to respond. But I just really like that one. I kind of tapped that one a lot. So yeah,
Thank you. I
awesome.
appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? What's your biggest takeaway for today, or what's your one business failure you faced? One more.
JR, I love your self-awareness of the words you used around you can't do it by yourself. People don't care. They're there for the money. You need to, while knowing that you need to delegate and pass responsibility on, and knowing the urgency to look after self, and the criticality of that. So a lot of self-awareness, and I'd love to hear your words that you use in a normal conversation, not being on stage with a founder, that you can go and beat them with a wet fish that's been dipped in salt and just wake up. You just wake up, pay attention, and know this is your baby, but you've got to stop and breathe.
Right. You got to stop the bleeding. And I appreciate everybody listening and understanding. And just like I said, I'm grateful that I've been brought on this platform to speak to a bunch of prestigious business people. And this is, like I said, I travel the world doing this, and I got asked to do this. And at a drop of a hat, I'm saying, this is what I do. I love it. This is what God purpose want me to do. And I like to give back and show people the authentic side of who I am, and how to gravitate and how to understand, like, before you do anything in business, you got to take care of first, here and here. And if you can't, you're going to chase the money, but you'll be miserable when you get the money because you didn't take care of your mental. So um, last slide is call to action. Just learn from your losses, build structure before scaling, invest in yourself, and then follow me, the Hood Motivator, for daily game and growth. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. I leave messages every single day. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see a story. You'll see probably a visual every day of what my podcast, what I speak about. This is who I am. I live and breathe it, and I want to help our entrepreneurs and business people because I believe this is what we need to move forward in the next journey of our life. And these are my links right here. Take a picture of that. You can follow me. If not, I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna be
Stand
standing.
up for a minute, please, Dr. JR.
What'd you say?
Stand up for a minute.
Okay. Hop on my calendar too anytime.
Good, I got it.
Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I'll be right on, still listening. Thank you for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Stop sharing. There you go.
Let me bring this back to gallery. All right, thank you, Dr. JR. That was really great. I'm adding my 2 cents to your support. I like when you said all things work together for your good. We know that it's Romans 8:28, but to hear it you say that was very motivating. And I voted wrong in the chat, but I try to include it with the different sayings from each speaker. So thank you very much for that. Mindy, I know you're not a speaker, but would you like to say something?
Sure, I just enjoyed, I really loved it. All the presentations were great. I really liked when he said a business without structure is a hobby with bills. That just blew my mind. Like, if you think about it, you're like, of course, but no, not really, and I've seen it firsthand that without an organization or SEO, you can really just lose your people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so necessary.
Yeah, but I thought it was great.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. It looks like we're going to be wrapping up earlier today, but I'm going to give my 2 cents, and I'm actually going to put the PowerPoint in the chat so that you can see what I'm speaking on. The 5 pillars of organizational excellence. I have learned over my career that as leaders, we have a responsibility to not only the organization, but to the people we lead. And leaders who don't have compassion or empathy or even care for their people lose their people. So how do we retain our people? By, I would say, I would call it the 5 pillars of organizational excellence. Now, the first pillar is neuroleadership. It is the practice of creating safety for your followers, for your employees, for your circle of influence. Initially, when somebody sees the 5 pillars of organizational excellence, you're going to think corporate. But as solopreneurs, we can also use these pillars to communicate well-being to our vendors, to our suppliers, to our creditors, to even those in our close-knit circle of influence. The second pillar is called neuromanagement. Now, neuromanagement is about managing well. I'm so happy that I had the chance to write Leadership, Lead Well, Look Well, Love Well. But, and you can say that's a management strategy as well. But the thrust of it is to know that those who are in your care as a leader, as a manager, deserve to be looked after in a way that says you can also lead. And we call this servant leadership. I got my master's of science in leadership from Grand Canyon University, and that is their main philosophy for leadership, servant leadership, being able to develop leaders as a leader because you see their value, you see their importance. And that's what management and leadership is about, not holding authority over people, but understanding and creating a space, an environment for them to, for your people to feel empowered to make good decisions for the company, upon the values of the company. So understanding the company's mission and vision and values, and then empowering them to make good decisions, good judgments on these mission, vision, and values. The third pillar is authentic appreciation. I adore this pillar because it shows you as a leader, as a manager, as someone who has clients, that it is important to appreciate them. Like Dr. Patricia said, you got to communicate value to your circle of influence. And so the pillars, the pillar of authentic appreciation has 5 modalities. And I take this from Dr. Gary Chapman and Dr. Paul White. You might know it from Dr. Gary Chapman as the love languages, but he's written the second phase of that book, which is for the corporate world, and partnered with Dr. Paul White to create the 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. And so the first one is words of affirmation. How can you speak an encouraging, affirming word to your people who ascribe to need, so well that the customers will understand, your clientele will appreciate what you have to say? That should be something as leaders that we do willingly. And 46% of the working population have that as appreciation language. The second one is quality time. Being able to associate yourself with your team, with a person on your team that will help you understand the work environment that you're in. Just being able to buddy up when necessary. The third one is acts of service, being able to help get accomplished that which needs to get accomplished in a timely manner. So let's say Dr. Patricia has a project to do and you're on her team, just saying, hey, I'm available. How do you want this done? How do you need this to get done? And helping get it done. The fourth one is tangible gifts. And tangible gifts is really important because some people like a gift, but it's not that you have to give an expensive gift, but you need to give a meaningful gift. So say Mindy likes ribbons, something with a pretty ribbon on it will just make her day, And the last one is physical touch. That's the fifth modality. And it's physical touch. In the workplace, it is limited to a good firm handshake, a pat on the back, a high five, a fist bump. Those are the 4 ways to demonstrate physical touch, respecting your associates' boundaries, because we all have boundaries when it comes to physical touch, and being able to honor them with their modality that they prefer. Now, only less than 1% of that people have that modality as a appreciation language, but it's still there. Some people want hugs. In the workplace, we don't encourage that, but we acknowledge it because it's their language of appreciation. The fourth pillar is workplace forgiveness. I appreciate workplace forgiveness because when you make a mistake, you don't need to be written up. I'll say that again. When you make a mistake, you don't need to be written up. You don't need to, as a leader, think this person should be written up. It's not necessary. A conversation, an explanation of what happened, both bidirectionally, makes more sense than just saying, oh, you did this, let me write you up. No. My background is human resources as well as accounting. So I understand the perspective of human resources, but at the same time, I understand humanity's perspective. And so I support workplace forgiveness. And the last pillar is organizational trust. Being transparent, working in conjunction with mission vision of the organization is highly important because we want to retain the relationship that, I'm going to say it, God has blessed us with in the workplace. For solopreneurs, it's your clients, it's your vendors, it's your creditors. For working corporate people, it's your employees. Being transparent, working in conjunction with the mission, vision, and values of the company to respect, to honor, to appreciate, to find value in your people, your circle of influence is critical when it comes to trust. You have the safety of them in their position in your hands. Treat it well, lead well, look well, love well your employees, your circle of influence. This is all I want to say about the 5 pillars of organizational excellence. I hope it applies to, I made it applicable to each one of your working experience. And that's all I want to say today. So we ended running a little bit early than 1 o'clock. It was funny because it was supposed to be 1:30, and on the invitation to LinkedIn, I put 1 o'clock. So I said, well, let me see if I can work with that time and make it more feasible for people to have more time for themselves today. So this is what I wanted to communicate. And I thank you all for being here, for participating in such a rich way. Every one of you gave great presentations and shared great words. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, everyone. It was amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anything that I can do for you guys? I'm going to share something with you. In the beginning of the year, before we had our new administration, God asked me to pray for businesses. So if you wish to, I want you to use the chat to share with me what would you like for me to pray for you about. I know you all have different businesses and different responsibilities that you've taken on as a business. So whatever it is that you need as far as prayer for your business, you can put that in the chat.
Okay. Thank you for that, Alicia. Prayer is always in order, so I'll take advantage of all those opportunities, because when we come together in a unit, and if everybody's on the same page, then how they say if we all on one accord and not on the cord. So prayer, that's my baby. That's my baby. Thank you for that offer.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you all.
Okay.
And I'll check with you all. Nice seeing you all. God bless everybody.
Bye.